This is Stephanie Shea, the voice of Sailor Moon, and in the name of the moon, you are listening to ACMG Presents Talk Time Live.
Welcome to the show that gives you all the news, views, and opinions in the world of gaming. This is ACMG Presents Talk Time Live Extras Select Start with your host, Xavier Josiah. Power up and game on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is ACMG Presents Talk Time Live Extra Select Start. I am your host, Xavier Josiah. Folks, I am extremely excited today. I'm always excited around the time when Nintendo Direct comes. There's always a lot of information to come in there, and I can't be more happier than to be able to talk about what they are offering this year on this episode today. So we will be talking about all of the Nintendo Direct news, as well as my review of the much anticipated for anime and otaku fans, Jump Force from Bandai Namco's latest Melee fighter, celebrating the 50th anniversary of Shonen Jump. So we're going to talk about all that in this episode, but before we do, we have some unfortunate bad news in the world of gaming, so let's get underway. Just recently announced, it's probably been like a day or two ago, that Activision Blizzard has probably by now laid off hundreds of employees. And the company informed staff that they would be cutting up to 8%, which is to calculations that is about nearly 800 out of the 9,600 employees that they have at the stations. And I believe throughout all of their studios, I believe they have one in other different countries and everyone too. I believe, to what I understand, it's the U.S. jobs that are being taken away at this point. So that includes not only just Activision, but Blizzard and King as well. So they're just, they're cutting ties for all that, budgeting purposes, of course, to some extent. During the investors' call that the company had achieved a record result in 2018. That's what they claimed. Usually the thing is, here's the funny part about the investors' calls, because I also follow professional wrestling as well, not just from a fan standpoint, but from the business aspect as well. So there are times where I do hear about their investors' calls. And if you watch WWE, if you watch Vince McMahon's product, the McMahons, the Levesques, all those, if you watch their product, they constantly promote their accolades on TV. They constantly promote the capacity of fans that are attending the events, the attendee numbers. Some of them have been known for many times and for many years to have been known to be, let's just say, altered, if you will. Let's give the infamous, WrestleMania 3, which was the Andre and Hogan one. And there's always this talk about them having a number of 90-something fans or something like that. Well, luckily, we have people like and journalists like Dave Meltzer, famously of Wrestling Observer, who always get the real numbers and reports the real numbers. And at some point, he always reports that was nowhere near the number that they said it was. That they kind of exaggerate the numbers a bit. And it's not just a WWE thing. That's a normal thing for companies, which is amazingly, they don't want you. I get the idea is that you don't want to show failure in some senses, and I don't know how well that business practice works to an extent. It probably has for some, and probably have not for others, because we even now to this day we can fact check. So regardless of what you say, eventually when you get up to the point of these investors calls, because these investors calls do include stockholders. These guys are people who brought stock for the company, major amounts of stock, not just like 1 share or 2 share or whatever, like that, 5 shares, 10 shares. We're talking like hundreds of shares. And each share could cost a substantial amount of money. And it is up to the investors to see whether they want to hold on to their stock or sell it. If they sell that stock, that's not a good thing for the company. In this case, Activision, who actually had this investors call. They said that they achieved a record result in 2018. You think that if they've done that, then that will warrant them the reason not to fire anybody, or they would have probably grossed more than they need to, possibly give bonuses or whatever or whatnot, and stuff like that. So instead, they have this investors meeting that they have. But they also went on to say that the company would further consolidate and restructure due to expectations for 2018 and therefore lowered expectations in 2019. So it looks like they said that they have record results, but they're saying something else. It feels like a contradiction. Maybe somebody needs to explain it to me or to you as to what exactly they meant by that. And they're forecasting lower expectations from this point on. I don't know what is leading to that forecast, but that's what they're saying. They went on to say that they would be focusing on releasing non-game development staff while strengthening its development staff for game series like Call of Duty and Diablo. So, for the record, I guess, yeah, they're losing a ton of jobs out there, which is extremely unfortunate, especially for those who wanted to do nothing but be among the gaming community and work in video game industry. It's always sad to hear stuff like that, especially for those who are really worked hard, go to college, achieving their dreams and such like that. It's really, really hard to hear stuff like that. According to the website Kotaku, which is where I've actually, heard about this. Actually, no, it's not true. I saw this on Twitter and then immediately went to the first article that I saw, and Kotaku was the first one that I looked over to. So they really covered their grounds with this news. But Kotaku, who managed to get their hands on the note to staff written by Blizzard President J. Allen Brack, which informed the U.S. team on February 12th at 1 p.m. that the company would be parting ways with their U.S. colleagues. The letter also was said to promise those released with a comprehensive severance package, continued benefits, health benefits, career coaching, and job placement assistance, as well as a profit sharing bonus for the previous years to those being released from Blizzard. So, although it be sad, at least you're going away with something, because that's, I got laid off before myself at a corporate job, and all I got was unemployment for like 6 months. At least they have still health benefits and all that stuff. You just get like half your pay for that point. So I give them that credit for doing that as well, but it is extremely sad. There were people out there on Twitter, especially voice actors or actors, who've been involved in a lot of those games. They extended their hand as well, showing like, we're with you, we're there for you, we're in support of you here, and even gave a list of other places that are hiring at this time. So that, other companies that are hiring. So that was pretty cool. There's a lot of support to those people, and I wish every one of them well on that. It's very sad to hear, but you know what? This is the nature, and I hate saying this. This is the nature of things. Nothing is really guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed, and I've realized that, way back when I was in college, and I was getting my computer science degree, and here I am thinking like I could get a job in computers. That's really job security. It's hard for you not to like work at an IT gig and get fired from it because they need you that much. Not saying that I would be able to do everything or anything from it, but I know I would be so diligently, I would be so ever diligent in that job that my job security would be set because they would need me for everything that I need. Well, the answer to that was the damn recession that hit, so years ago, and way back in like 2006 or 7 and whatnot. And, the recession hit and more jobs were becoming to decline and dilute, which led to what we're going through right now, and haven't really truly recovered from that point because of what happened back then. And this is during the Bush era, by the way. And we just really haven't gotten back from that point. And you started seeing jobs diluting, the opportunity for jobs diluting more and more. And in place of new, fresh talent to groom, in its place were more established people getting jobs because they didn't want to have to take time to train the new people. And that's the part that was really sad. So anybody coming out of college at this time, and still to this day, which created this millennial era of kids who are living with their parents now because they're not getting the job opportunities that were promised. And they're still, it really annoys me that they're still advertising colleges like, go to college, pay all this money, and you'll get opportunity no matter what. No, that's not true. That is so not true. That is beyond not true. And I'm not saying I'm not an advocate of education. I'm fully an advocate of education, but also it has to benefit to something later on. There has to be a chance of opportunity. They're making false promises, much like the WWE does with the numbers every year. It's like they want your money, but what are they giving you back? So we need to fix the structure of that immediately. And you know, the president claims that there are jobs available, but they never say what jobs. And there are a lot of jobs where people are skilled by that there's not enough opportunity for. So that's the situation. But I digress. Again, I wish the very best for all of them. All of them out there. There's a lot of people that has lost their job in those companies. So I wish them the best with that. So on to a more lighter news and more exciting news here. Nintendo Direct came on and premiered last night, and I am extremely always happy about Nintendo Direct. You guys have listened to the show before. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Nintendo Direct is like its own E3. They never disappoint. It's like for wrestling fans, it's like watching NXT or NXT TakeOver. You always expect excitement, intrigue, suspense, and some form of epic, conclusion to it. And they did not disappoint as always here. I love what Nintendo Direct has done. Presented by Yoshiaki Koizumi. I'm not fluent. But he presented it this time around again. And it started off with a mention and an announcement of Super Mario Maker 2, which, again, I've said this a long time ago. It was only a matter of time that they were going to make this game for the Nintendo Switch. And in fact, this is a sequel to it, and this is awesome. The new customizations and configurations and stage design tools that you'll be able to use this time is phenomenal. Looks absolutely great. More of what we loved on the original one is coming now, and I am looking forward to it. And not only that, the one thing I absolutely love about Nintendo, and I've said this plenty of times, what I love about Nintendo here is that not only do you, when they do Nintendo Directs, it's not just showing the games that are coming. 9 chances out of 10, majority of the games that are mentioned always has dates, exact dates of majority of them. Not all of them, majority of them have dates, especially the really exclusive ones have dates of when they are going to come, which brings even more excitement. And there's usually never any problem when they do come. When they say it's coming such and such time, it gets there such and such time. So for those who are trying to hate on Nintendo, you cannot deny what they do, how they do things. And I think it's just, there's no point in hating. There's always room for more. What they've proven from this is the year to get a Nintendo Switch. When people who are saying that they will wait until the library builds up and see what they come up with, this Nintendo Direct right here, what I'm going to talk about, this is the time. This is absolutely the time. I mean, they have more enough library as is, but what they're bringing now, it's going to be awesome. So Super Mario Maker 2 is coming June of 2019, this summer. It's coming. So get ready for that. You also need to look forward the much anticipated, once announced at the Video Game Awards, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. They had more of a preview of gameplay and what you could do. It looks like more of what you expect from the game, but just looks absolutely stunning. It looks a lot more fluid than it ever was before from the first two. The cool part about it is that they show Storm. So they mentioned that the X-Men was going to be there. So expect the original crew to be on this game. I am so looking forward to this like you don't believe. I am very happy to be a proud owner of a Nintendo Switch right now and a fan of Marvel. They also show Iron Fist with some really cool, really insanely cool moves. Captain Marvel gameplay as well. Coming summer of 2019. Summer is going to be the hottest it's ever been. During all this E3 and situation coming up, very interested in what's going to happen. Not only that, but it's very appropriate for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 to come in the summer of 2019, because you know what else comes out in the summer of 2019? That is San Diego Comic-Con, the hottest ticket of the summer for fandoms. You know, so that is extremely appropriate that it's coming out around that time, and I bet you it may actually come out the week of that time, so that'll be awesome. Another really interesting, innovative game, Box Boy and Box Girl, looks like a sequel, coming April 26, 2019. Then he went on to talk about the Ultimate Spring update, Super Smash Bros. Update 3 coming. It showed Joker from Persona is coming. He said a lot more is going to be coming with this update as well. So it looks like it's going to be a huge download coming this spring as well. And they also mentioned the new amiibos from there. So they also mentioned Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, new update coming, which is one of the updates is available now. And that is the ability to play in 2-player co-op, which they absolutely is available now. Some of the announcements that they had was really cool, because they were announcing that it's available after the presentation. They do that often. That's another reason why I love watching Nintendo Direct. How they produce these type of things is very cool. And you know what's funny too? They rarely do anything wrong, but when they do address it and apologize profusely. And I do appreciate that. They don't try to hide from anything, from their failures. They rather do really good or do really bad, and they will bring it up and are humble. They're very humble in what they do, and I appreciate that. That's a company practice philosophy that should be done by a lot of people these days. I think that type of way of going about it would help a company, will help the fans and consumers become more forgiving of them, instead of them trying to pull wool over people's head and try to, suspend their disbelief or whatever. So expect, if you have Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, which is a really good game. I did play that a little bit, the demo actually of it. It was really fun to play. But you could download the co-op right now, and then later in March 14th, again, a date, March 14th, 2019, a new update will be coming with 18 new challenges available in there as well. Looks awesome. Speaking of awesome, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, what I call the ultimate Castlevania side-scrolling adventure, is coming summer 2019 by 505 Games. This game looks like, if you're a Castlevania fan, this is a must-play for you. This game is going to involves I believe the main character's name is Mira, and she is going to have so many cool abilities. This is like Castlevania meets Mega Man in a sense. So she'll have the ability to control gravity and gain powers from her enemies as well. So very Mega Man-esque right there. You can also, the really cool part that I thought was cool was that you could customize the main character Miriam, to give her an authentic look. So like, so many really kind of almost in a Injustice to Mortal Kombat 11 style customization mode. The actual other cool thing too is that these stages are both in 2D, 2.5D I believe, and 3D as well. There's some stages that are 3D as well, so I thought that was pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that too. Dragon Quest fans, you are not out of the loop, because they announced that Dragon Quest Builders 2, which a lot of us knew were coming. Well, I knew it was coming because of my Japanese account, but Dragon Quest 2 Builders 2 is coming July 12th, 2019. Another they are really looking to have, this is their summer blockbuster season. I hope they keep doing this, because we don't get a lot of really hot summer games as much, and Nintendo's really filling the gap on that situation. It looks really cool. If you guys don't know what Dragon Quest Builders is, it's Dragon Quest mixed with Minecraft. So you'll be able to build a whole lot of really cool things and lands and buildings and such. And there's a big story mode that involves you to team up with a whole bunch of different people as well. So you'll have that option to work with in the game, and it looks awesome. I meant to get the first one. I wanted to get the first one, but it just, there were so many other games I wanted to focus on, so I never got the chance to really play it. But, there's always time. Knock on wood. But they then announced and showed and revealed a beautifully new Dragon Quest game, which I'm not sure because I don't follow Dragon Quest, but they called this the definitive edition. I'm assuming that this is already out and maybe on another platform or console or something like that. And they're just bringing it on this version over to this, but it's Dragon Quest Echoes of the Music Age, definitive edition, coming exclusively this fall of 2019. And to my unfortunate discovery, it is a turn-based RPG. And I'm saying that because if you look at the game, if you saw the preview, it looked very Zelda Breath of the Wild type of deal. And then I noticed that they went right into the turn-based RPG. Now, I'm hoping rather that's the case, or they will have a way of going about it with the action role-playing game. The other cool thing I loved about it is that you can play the game in 3D, and I believe you may be able to also play the game in like classic 8-bit style too. So that's a really cool thing for the fans of that genre as well. A new Disney Tsum Tsum Festival game is coming as well. It's a little puzzle game from the Tsum Tsum franchise. New Starlink Spring Update also coming with a new story campaign based on the Star Fox universe coming in April. Now, I was made to believe that this was not a Star Fox game, but this is a game based on another franchise, but has Star Fox characters in there and such. And it looks like it really is just transforming and assimilating into a Star Fox game, because there's a lot of Star Fox in this game. So, looks like that's what they're doing, but it's coming out in April of 2019, so stay tuned for that. Rune Factor 4 Special. It's a remastered version coming later this year as well, which will, allow some new features and things that were not in the original, so expect that to be coming as well. As also the announcement of Rune Factory 5, which they said is in development and will be coming exclusively to the Nintendo Switch, so stay tuned for that as well. Square Enix action RPG game Oninaka is coming summer 2019. Really cool. It's not really over the top. It's kind of an over the top action role playing game, but it's really cool. It's coming soon. Interesting footage I saw there. Yoshi's Crafted World is coming. That game, Yoshi's Crafted World, looks absolutely graphically, artistically beautiful. Just the way they did things and how it looks, it looks like a work of art. It's very familiar with, I forgot the game that used to be on the PlayStation. The Little Big World or something. I forgot the name of that, with Patch Boy. I'm totally butchering that whole thing. It's been so long since I've played that game on a PlayStation, but it is kind of reminiscent of that, but it's so graphically beautiful. The textures and everything that's in the game, it looks awesome. That is coming very soon, but available now for a demo. So you can play the demo right now and check it out and give a little handle on that. Then, the main event of this whole entire Nintendo Direct is, in fact, to promote Fire Emblem Three Houses, which is coming July 26, 2019. Another summer blockbuster coming. And I don't know why. I don't like... This is one of those situations where, like, I hate eating onions, but I'll eat onion rings. It's weird. I don't like tomatoes. I eat ketchup. It doesn't make any sense. In this case, I don't like turn-based RPGs, but I will play this game, Fire Emblem, which is not a turn-based game. It's a real-time strategy. It's kind of on the same realm. But I've played that. I'll play Disgaea. Disgaea may have been my, warm-up to it, because Disgaea is extremely entertaining at best. The voice acting, the comedy, everything, it's entertaining. I've also played, what was another real-time strategy? It used to be on a DS. Armor Wars, I think it was called, or Something Wars or something it was called back then. I played those too. They were also really fun to play as well. But I've played Fire Emblem games dating back to the DS era. And I've seen this game grow so well. So damn well. And each time the artwork, the character design gets much better. The graphics level, it gets it improves so much more. that's why I went and brought Fire Emblem Warriors, because that was really my cup of tea for Fire Emblem. It gave me the best of both worlds in that one too. But this one, it seems to have visually superseded everything else. It looks stunning, just as beautiful as ever. And this one is going to be cool because it gives you the opportunity this time to pick one of 3 territories, and from there you do the story of that territory battling against the other 2 to, I guess, commandeer both of them at this case. But it looks absolutely stunning. I can't wait. June 26, 2019. For those fans out there, get ready. It's coming. Another game that is actually here and actually was available upon announcement of Nintendo Direct. Tetris 99, which I'm not really like that much of an online fan with things, but I wanted to check this out. Tetris 99 is a really cool online experience where it puts you up against 99 other people playing Tetris at the same time, and the idea is that you have to get rid of the lines. You have to get rid of as many blocks and lines as possible, even create a Tetris. Your Tetris, which is usually 4 lines completed, your Tetris or your lines then transfer over to somebody else, giving them a disadvantage of ever completing their side. So you're competing against like multiple amounts of people, and not everybody's going to make it, but one person is going to withstand all 99 others. This pretty much is a battle royal, a Tetris battle royal, and done so well. And for the record, when I first tried it, I made it to up to 16, so I'm not hating. That's how I roll with Tetris. I've always been really into Tetris competition. So if any of you guys with a Nintendo Switch out there, I'm down with Tetris 99. Definitely go out of your way, and it's free. I forgot. I can't stress that enough. The game it's a free download. Go out of your way, check it out. It's a lot of fun to play. I highly recommend it. Go out of your way. It's a simple, free, fun online experience, and I can rate this right now. If I give it a grade, it's a absolute A, because I don't get to enjoy anything, and this concept was really that well done. I had no trouble with 99 people in the game. I had no trouble. There was no lags, any of that stuff. Go out of your way to get it, download it, free, enjoy right there. Another game that they announced, Dead by Daylight, a new horror game that's coming out. Very kind of reminiscent of Friday the 13th, I must say. I've never played Friday the 13th before, but I know that there is a certain mode in there where you can play Jason chasing after the victims that you're going after. So this game seems to take from that type of gameplay as well. So you could take the role of the victim or the killer in this. And which is different from Friday the 13th is that you have an avatar customization, create your own, character or killer, if you will, included with various different items, costumes, to wear and everything, maybe weapons to defend or to attack with. So it's really cool. Now, visually, it doesn't look that good. It may be still in development. Hopefully it's better, but the concept itself is actually pretty awesome. I guess, if you're into that type of thing. So, that should be coming soon. There was no real date on that, but it is coming later this year. So stay tuned for that. Deltarune, Chapter 1, a dog-friendly game coming February 28th. It was really cool. It's like an 8-bit type of game. I love the trailer itself. It was very entertaining and comical. They actually at one point said a free game, and then for those who don't know and probably think that it's free, if you look at the bottom, they also add on, it's not a free game. So it's really interesting. I like the way they present it. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that game. One of the biggest games that was mentioned at E3 was Daimon Machina, which is the new beautifully stylized mech game that they were hyping on at E3. They have presented it again and saying that the game is coming out this summer, but also right now, upon the ending of the Nintendo Direct, the game is available as a free demo for you to check out and play. I highly recommend you go out of your way to check out and play this game. I've played it with little that they had in there, and I am really excited about what they're doing with this game. It's absolutely ungodly gorgeous looking. This is PlayStation 4 level graphics here. And I'm playing it on a handheld, and this is absolutely unbelievable. If you played Zone of Enders back in the day, this is that times 5, just visually. So Zone of Enders, the second runner, at best, at least. Not the first game, the second one. How visually artistically stunning that was. This one takes it a lot further there. What they allow you to do this time, though, is that they allow you to actually create your character. You can really develop your own avatar to give it a look. Now, my thoughts on this. I love the controls. They were great. They were fluid so far. I absolutely enjoyed the environment. And it takes a little bit to really understand and pick up the learning curve of the controls and everything, but it's not that hard to do. But my only peeve, and I hope they add a rumble pack to it too, because if I'm shooting at people or they're shooting at me, I want to feel that I'm being shot at. So hopefully they'll add a little bit of a rumble pack to it. But my only issue with this game, and partially most games like this, is that when they do creative avatar or create your character or create an avatar or whatever, some games half-ass it. This is why I give so much praise to Ukes, the people responsible for WWE 2K, because they have the ultimate creative character system, and nobody has been able to really level up to that level of creativity that they do. Not just, you could create literally almost anything, and everything looks good, but also the respective hairstyles. It's very PC and very diverse in the selections. They really adhere to who's playing the game and what demographic is playing the game, what cultures are playing the game, and they made sure they accommodate every single type of hairstyle for you for this game. Whereas games, especially Japanese games too, Japanese games like this, or some that I've seen like the original like Soul Calibur 3 or 4 or whatever like that, Bandai Namco games sometimes do that when they use created character modes. I've seen it many a times from them. I own many games, and I've had this problem. They do skin tone and pigments, and that is, to them, enough. And to me, I'm like, no, that's half-assing it. If you're going to allow a person with color to be on the game, you got to go full blast with it. Like, I need to see, like, hairstyles. I need to see, like, something, certain features that you can't just give a skin tone, but the guy has like Caucasian like hair, because no person in my culture has Caucasian hair unless they're like mixed. But I would find hard to find anybody who would have that type of hair. Even if like my wife is from India, even if we ever have a kid, I would find it hard. If she's not a female, if it's a male guy, I would find it very hard that hairstyle would be anywhere to the level of what they have on this game. So this is the demo, and they are, to their credit, they're saying they're doing an online survey for those who have downloaded and played the game. So I will put in my 2 cents. I hope other people of color see this as well, and probably hopefully say the same thing, and just like, can you give them something that's a little bit more familiar with the culture per se? Because as gorgeous as this game looks, it would be so much better if they provide more customization options and selections and items and such that will really get people into the game. Because especially in this day and age, we are trying to be as politically correct as possible with things, and everybody wants to enjoy this, and they should want everybody to enjoy it. And I'm pretty sure they want everybody to enjoy it. I really hope that that's the case, that they will work on some more hairstyles, some more other features and stuff like that. It's a really good, very well detailed customization that they have so far, but I just really think that they should go a little bit farther and not half-ass the situation right there and do it. So we will see for that. But other than that, I am looking forward to this game. It looks really cool. It plays really cool. Stay tuned for it. And the game is scheduled out to arrive this summer as well, so we'll see. Grid Autosport. It's funny. I actually, when it comes to racing games, there's only a few racing games that I played. Mario Kart, of course, which I always buy, but didn't tend to get really bored because there's really nothing else to it other than just racing. Gran Turismo, I never liked playing. I used to buy Gran Turismo games simply just for them being Gran Turismo games because I used to call them games created by God. And I say that in a sense that it looks so realistic, even for dating back to the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3 era. Those games look so damn realistic. The Asphalt, everything. By the way, Asphalt was one of my favorite racing games ever. I can always play an Asphalt game. So cool, action pack, and you actually run people over. So it's like, and you're going like Mach 5. So I've always loved playing Asphalt games, especially on the road. But when it comes to games like that, I used to just I only played it just to marvel at the look of the game and how realistic it is. It's just, I brought it out of respect for the people who created it. I never played them. I never liked playing racing games to that extent, but I just had such a respect for that game. It's like, I gotta give them money. I know that's a weird kick, but it is what it is. But this one right here, Grid Autosport, is a Gran Turismo level racing game, which is coming 2019. Absolutely shows the graphic power of the Switch at its finest. A lot of these games that I'm going to be mentioning, that I'm mentioning right now, are testing the graphic level and power of the Nintendo Switch. And people who doubted that system, if you don't watch this Nintendo Direct and what they've already came out with already, you're missing out on a great experience, on a great handheld experience and a great experience in general for what they're offering. To be able to play some of your favorite games on your handheld, as graphically beautiful as they are, you're missing out on a great experience and opportunity, and possibly the best and greatest Nintendo system of all time. Bar none. You can hold me to that. So get ready for that. And also what's really cool about Grid Autosport 2 is that there is another mode in there for Destruction Derby, which is a different kick, and I like that. That's actually worth getting. Now, I won't get it anymore because I'm through my stage of getting racing games and not playing them anymore. So I think Mario Kart Deluxe is the last Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the last Mario Kart game I'm going to get. They're fun, but I'm just like, I just don't get into them because if they have a story mode, maybe I can get on it. But other than that, it's just like, I can't get down of all that they're going to do is just have you race all over again and over again. Because eventually you'll get tired of that. It gets boring. You need more from that. Again, another game that was mentioned, Hell's Blade Senoi Sacrifice, coming spring 2019. Again, testing the limits of the graphical limits of the PlayStation 4. This game is a PlayStation 4, Xbox One level game. The graphics in this game looks absolutely outstanding. I'm looking forward to it. Mortal Kombat 11 was already announced for Nintendo Switch, scheduled to come April 23rd, 2019. You guaranteed I'm going to get that for the Switch, and guaranteed I'm going to review it on air. I'm going to get, because I know it's going to play extremely well on the PlayStation 4. I've already played the previous versions on there. And now it's time to see what Mortal Kombat will be doing graphically and gameplay-wise. Because if this is successful on the Nintendo Switch, I truly believe Injustice 2 is going to be coming as well. A definitive edition of Injustice 2 will be coming to the Nintendo Switch as well. And it might be already in the plans. Guaranteed. So get ready for that. And I hope that's the case because I love Injustice 2. And to be able to take that on the road, awesome. Absolutely. Here's a game. I got to look at it. I got to check this because I could have sworn this was a PlayStation exclusive game. Unravel 2 is coming to the Switch March 22nd. I swear to goodness, I thought this game was on a PlayStation exclusively. So the fact that this game is coming on the Switch is really awesome as well. So I got to look back at that. I could be wrong, but I thought that was a PlayStation 4 only game. So I'll look into that. What also is coming, this is a big one. Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered coming May 21st. For the first time ever, Assassin's Creed is making it into the Nintendo Switch. Not only just Assassin's Creed 3, but you're getting a definitive version. Again, the cool part about getting a Nintendo Switch is that when they bring older games back, you get everything for one price. You get it all for one low price. They're giving you not only the entire game, you're getting all of the DLC and including the standalone game Assassin's Creed Liberation. That's all coming under one swoop for one price. And it's usually a fairly good price. So get ready for that. I love it. This is the same time when they gave you Disgaea Deluxe Complete. I believe Disgaea 3, I got that. It gave you everything, all the DLC. Legend of Zelda Hyrule Warriors, the complete version. Dragon Ball Xenoverse. They gave you Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 and 2 in one game. So definitely, this is the reason why you should get a Switch, people, for those who don't get it. If this doesn't convince you, I don't know what does. Also announced, which we saw commercials about this already, Final Fantasy VII is coming March 26th, so stay tuned for that. Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon Everybody is coming March 20th. Final Fantasy IX is available right now upon the ending of Nintendo Direct. So Final Fantasy fans, get ready. But to me, the two biggest announcements that came out of this, Platinum Games is back, baby. The guys who gave us, I believe, Devil May Cry, Transformers, Devastation, which is one of my favorite Transformers games. This is the best Transformers game of all time. Next to War on Cybertron and all those. But that one was just so awesome they put together. The Ninja Turtles, you name it, they put it together. And Bayonetta, they did that one as well. Well, it doesn't stop here because they're bringing in a very epic and impact game called Astral Chain coming August 30th. From the character, it was character designed by Masakazu Katsura, which, if that name doesn't strike you familiar, maybe the anime that you watch has. Zetman, which is something I'm watching now, which is on Hulu right now that I'm watching. And the artwork, the character design in that anime is ridiculously gorgeous. And he managed to bring that onto this game. It looks phenomenal. Supervision by Hideki Kamiya, which of Bayonetta. So there's your action pack. You got that type of action pack, gameplay coming, and directed by Takahisa Tora of Anarchy Reigns. So this is a powerhouse of players in this game. I can't describe to you what I've seen in this game, but it's like a very Devil May Cry-ish Bayonetta type game, but it involves something very different and innovative that is going to involve another, I guess, mech being, or I guess it looked like between a mech vessel that you're going to be using or a stand that is linked to you in certain ways, and you're using the mech, or what I call a stand, like from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, to help fight with you against these hordes of big monsters or whatever like that. So Platinum Games is not going anywhere. They're back, and it's coming August 30th. I'm so happy. Platinum Games is a company I do not want to see dead. These guys are so good at what they do. Almost better than anybody when it comes to action, hack and slash, melee style gaming. These guys are absolutely stunning as far as visually, and I love it because a lot of their games, they do this without using too much memory capacity. Like, I remember playing Ninja Turtles and Transformers. I'm thinking this thing's going to be like 25 to 50 gigs. No, I think it was like less than 10, or to some extent. It's like, and they really managed to pack a lot of what they did in there. It's really cool. So that is something everybody should look out for, and a reason why to get a Nintendo Switch right there. The other reason, if you're a Legend of Zelda fan, and this was the last thing that they left off. Legend, for those of you who own the Game Boy, this is absolutely the best news ever, and have played this game. 1993, Game Boy Classic. Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. I've played that game so many times. in so many different variations over the years, and probably one of the list of one of my most enjoyable Zelda experiences was that game. They're bringing it back, not a remastered, reborn, as they put it. And yeah, you could say that because it is now in full, stunning 3D, like a brand new game that has never come out before. If you played the original one, and then you see what they did to this game. Oh my goodness. This game looks it looks like a whole new game. And the great part was when they were showing a lot of what they were showing, I recognize a lot of the stages that I've played before. Some of the most memorable stages that I've played before in that game. I'm like, wow, they worked on this very hard. So that game is scheduled to come out in 2019, which means later this year, probably fall. I'm guessing fall or winter 2019. Nonetheless, it looks absolutely gorgeous, totally reborn, man. So that's what they had to show for this version of Nintendo Direct. I think they knocked it out the park again. They're really showing us what Nintendo Switch has to offer, that they're not sitting on the sidelines while Xbox and while PlayStation is doing their thing. They are completely in the same level. It used to be Sony was on top, Xbox was on second. They were in the middle. Or put it like this. PlayStation, popular. Xbox, somewhat popular, but not by many. And then it was like Nintendo was always in the even. They were always in the gray. They never went higher or lower in that respect. Nintendo Switch has taken them to the level. They're completely in competition with those guys. And in contrast and comparison, it's awesome. This is, you've never seen Nintendo more powerful as a console, as a company, than with this system. This is what they've done, how they conduct themselves, the business practices that they do, the promotion that they create. Absolutely stunning as hell. So I'm looking forward to all this and much, much more. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it on that. Now, the piece de resistance is here. We're going to talk my review of a very anticipated game by many people who are anime fans, who are otaku fans, who are fans of Shonen Jump, who are fans of all those titles, Dragon Ball, Naruto, Bleach, you name it, Yu Yu Hakusho, which doesn't get enough credit this day and age for what they've done for that industry with that series. And that is Jump Force. This is not a sequel to J-Star Victory vs. Plus, but a follow-up to that. I would say at least a follow-up to that. This is a game much like, if you've never played J-Star Victory vs. Plus, I played before. I think I even did a podcast. I believe used to do videos, and I did a video review of that game, J-Star Victory vs. Plus. I loved the game. It was like the answer to Super Smash Brothers at the time, because Super Smash Brothers never really had a story mode, and this was a melee fighter done differently with some of your favorite anime characters. Still available for the PlayStation 4, I might add, and for very cheap. So if you never played that game, go out of your way to play it. But here we got a new game that was announced right around the time of the Game Awards in last year, and it was like, whoa, where did this come from? What the hell going on? And why does everybody look graphically realistic in this case? So we got this game. It's announced that it's coming right about February, and it's here. So we're going to talk about it. Bandai Namco brings us another huge anime crossover melee fighter that once again celebrates, this time, the 50th anniversary of Shonen Jump. This time, the real world merges with the Jump universe and is invaded by an evil army of mind-controlled beings called Venoms, led by new characters Kane and Galena. To stop this new threat, Director Glover recruits, which Director Glover looks amazingly like an anime version, I guess, of Nick Fury, by the way, in his own way. Recruits characters from different Jump worlds in order to end the terror of their worlds. You, on the other hand, was killed at the hands of Frieza's invasion, actually, or by Frieza himself, thanks to Trunks, an AI known as navigator, they use what is called the Umbrus Cube to revive and resurrect you into a new form. Pretty cool storyline. I'll dig it. It's cool. So I'm going to give you the pros and cons of this right now, because there are pros and there is cons in here to talk about it as well. So, and I'll give you my grade, of course, as I always do. So the pros here. The game not only merges worlds and storyline, but also in game experiences, as the game takes elements from many past anime titles such as Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, My Hero Academia, One Justice, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the last one that came out recently, and much more. So there are a lot of the gameplay and experiences reflect that. So it's like all of those taken. This is the G-Kundu of all those versions over there. So the gameplay feels more like Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm. It's very fast paced, ground level gameplay. They don't fly around like Xenoverse here. It's more, like Ultimate Ninja Storm. So they do go like mid air, but not any higher than that. So they use a lot of bells and whistles to work with that. But it more focuses on that type of. In some cases, you can say, it's more Ultimate Ninja Storm, because if you played My Hero Academia One Justice, they do kind of part into the walls too and fight in the side view of the walls too. So that's a little bit different. But you got that gameplay, but also it allows you to create a team of up to three. Like you could 1-on-1, 2-on-2, or even mostly 3-on-3 with a cross tag battle, feature in it. So while the game controls and moves are the same for each character, they do possess moves that perform differently, thus allowing you to strategize differently when facing opponents. While battling through opponents, you will receive heavy battle damage, which is really awesome, and gives that epic fight feel for fans of Shonen Jump or any of the anime series that you watch. So, like, if you watch Dragon Ball or, again, Naruto, Bleach, and they're going through, like, 3 episodes of battles. Eventually, by the 3rd episode, they done lost clothing. They're beat up, bloodied. That's what they end up looking like in this game. So I really love that feature of it. The presentation of that aspect is really good. You have a choice of 40 characters from many of your favorite anime and manga series. Of course, there's always more that people want in there, and they're never satisfied on the internet. But we got what we got here. Manga, in manga series as well, to choose from, with 9 DLC characters scheduled to premiere later on down the line. So cross your fingers. There may be more coming. We'll see. The game takes a bit of a curve to learn at first, but once it's mastered and once you level up, pretty much, you're in for an epic back and forth of a game that any manga and anime fans would love as well. Much like Dragon Ball Xenoverse, though, the game allows you to create your own avatar along with his or her own moveset, which you can customize. But unlike Xenoverse, Jump Force gives you the opportunity to change the look of your avatar at any time when you're not fighting. So if you guys remember, if you played Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 and 2, once you created your character's look and hairstyle and whatever like that, you couldn't change the hairstyle, you couldn't change the look of the face or whatever like that. You can do that now. You can absolutely do that now. You don't need like 9 Dragon Balls to kind of restructure everything that you need to do on here. So I thought that was a great different approach to it as well, and to differentiate the feel of Xenoverse. The game's lobby also takes from Xenoverse as well, as it has booths that you could go to play online or offline battles, register teams, as well as buy different items, abilities, clothings for your avatar. There's also an underground tunnel that you could go to get through certain levels when things get a little bit too, congested up above. So you could go down there. The cool part about the underground tunnel level is that it looks a lot like Star Labs on the Flash CW series. If any of you guys saw that, there's a little section of Star Labs, an underground level of Star Labs, where Flash and Nora or any other speedster races around to practice their speed. It looks a lot like that as well. It's really cool. So it does give it a little bit more of an expansion from which you get a chance to see in Xenoverse as well. So I don't know if it's bigger per se, than what you see in Xeno? It's probably not. It's probably about the same time, just designed differently. It's kind of like when you buy the iPhone X, and for those who still have the previous edition, the same size, but because the screen takes up the entire plate of, the front plate, and it covers everything, it looks like that version's bigger. Like visually, it looks bigger. So it's kind of on that case. But the difference with this game is that all the moves are available upon purchase, but when you play mission modes, they do allow you to, you do kind of get a chance to get more moves as well, the further you go in as well. The lobby contains four main areas based on Jump Force divisions, Alpha, Beta, and Sigma, which each of them are led by Goku, Luffy, and Naruto because they're captains of those teams based upon the story mode in the series. The mission lobbies give you a chance to level up your characters, your avatar, your characters, as well as earn more money to purchase upgrades and items needed to play through the game and receive clothing, items, and abilities not in the shops. So this is also a cool thing as well. And you start off with like wearing t-shirts, and this t-shirts is cool because the t-shirts, and if you brought the Ultimate Edition or the Deluxe Edition, you kind of get some of these t-shirts, extra t-shirts that they are not giving away. And the t-shirts have like actual panels from the manga on there, which is awesome. So I dug that, what they did. So there's a good starter ups, and then as you go along, you get to wear some of the clothing that some of the characters wear, and you can mix and match to your own combination, make kind of an original character there. So you had that. Your avatar also has the option of running around or travel using the selection of vehicles such as the Dragon Ball style bike that they have in there, Frieza's space pod, Luffy's boat, and Naruto's toad. Some of which you get from the pre-orders of the game as well. So those are all like the really cool things. The story mode is pretty cool as well too. I like the story mode. Now, here's what I believe are the cons for this game, which does kind of hold it from, in my opinion, giving it a grade that I would love to give it. Some of the cons can include the graphics. The graphics, they are really good. Now, when we saw what we saw at the Game Awards and the trailer that came out from it, we thought was actual game footage, which actually just the trailer, the CGI scene, if you will. And we assume because we're at this stage of gaming where graphically you can pull that off. What we saw from that trailer is not exactly what we're getting in the game, and that's kind of misleading in a sense. Now, I'm not saying that the graphics in the game are not great, but with only 15 gigs of space capacity, of memory capacity, you can only get so much graphic out of that game. In comparison to games like WWE 2K or Batman Arkham Asylum, where like they're like 50, and that means if they're 50, if you with that amount of space and amount of memory that is needed, you're looking to make, things look real, moving, textures, layers, of things. This not so much. This game is only 15 gigs, so while the graphics are still really good, you can tell the difference from the CGI and the actual gameplay character designs. And it is kind of misleading, although with that said, it's not that bad. It's not to say that it's bad, but we were expecting that epically enhanced and detailed look that we saw from the cutscenes that were advertised throughout the promotion of the game, and we're not getting that exactly. We're getting something that looks definitely good, but not to that extent. So I wish that I really think that they didn't have to go about it that way in a sense, but it's one of those, like we just spoke about at the beginning of the series, it's one of those misleading type of things that companies do. It really boggles me. I don't know, whatever. But the other problem, and this is probably a big problem, but a problem I think they will fix within time with a few patches. There are some clipping issues with clothing that is applied to your avatar and what they're wearing. There are times when some, like, say, shoulder pads or whatever, you're seeing right through the clothing. So there's no collision detection or anything right there with that. And it's really a lot of clipping issues. Not a lot of clipping issues, but there's some noticeable clipping issues in there. Not entirely much, not enough to be like, hey, this looks like a hack. No. But there are some issues that I believe, because this happened, I believe something like this happened with King of Fighters 15, where they came out with what they came out with. I'll give another example, too. King of Fighters 15 and WWE 2K18 for the Nintendo Switch. That one looked like utter crap when it first came out. It looked very unfinished. They continued. I reached out to them many times, and they absolutely denied whether it looked bad, it played bad, there were some glitches. They were denying all types of hell to this game, that it wasn't as bad. But then upon updates and everything, it looked graphically better. Their clipping issues were fixed. The frame rate was still sucks in that game, but they did manage to fix the visual aspect of the game. Whereas also with King of Fighters 15, they made a lot of graphical changes as well. NetherRealm also did that as well, I believe, with Sonya Blade last year. It was Injustice, because it was Wonder Woman that needed a bit of lighting. There were some lighting issues with Wonder Woman at that point, so they managed to fix it with a patch. So this is the same thing. I believe with a patch or two, they're going to fix that part, but that's an issue I'm seeing right now with it. The other thing also that I'm seeing is collision detection is left to be desired when running through the lobby, as you literally walking through other characters and other avatars at least, or characters, as if you were Kitty Pryde from the X-Men. It's really that bad. There's a part when you go into the actual the main headquarters where Director Glover is at. You can run right through him. And it's weird because there are some parts you can't go through everything. There are some invisible walls in some portions of the lobby. Like you have to jump over the rails and jump to go down a level or something like that, but they won't let you go through it. But when it comes to and I don't know if that's because they're doing online lobbying and everything like that, but even still, and they don't want to clutter things because there are going to be so many people around. That I understand, but to me, I guess I'm not an online person like that, so I'm bothered by that in a bit, but that's maybe what it is and why they do it. But I don't believe that happens with Xenoverse. And I've been online with Xenoverse. I don't think that happens. I think we all literally, when we come near each other, we bump and move away from each other. So that is something that will require a patch as well. Some of the things that I've noticed, it seems like they brought it out what they're doing, and they're just going to improve on it from that point on, which is fine. And that's usually the case right there. So I'm not totally bothered by that either, but it is noticeable. Loading times is definitely noticeable here, because between the game's cutscenes and the fighting and the matches that you play can take up to 21 seconds to even 39 seconds. 21 was the I believe it was I've tested it out many times. 21 seconds was the minimum that loading happened. 39 seconds was the maximum that I've seen so far in the game. So hopefully, again, with a patch, hopefully there will be some faster loading times or whatever like that, but it's not the end of the world. It's not the worst loading I've ever had. I've played PlayStation 1 games and PlayStation 2 games in the past, and even PlayStation 3 games to some extent, where loading is atrocious. So this is not entirely a deal breaker for me at all, but and a lot of it, I don't know what's the reason for the long loading. I think maybe because they don't want people to record the story mode, which tends to activate and reactivate the game's ability to record and take screenshots during the story mode. Hopefully that will change, because after this game fully releases tomorrow, for those who actually got it early, the deluxe version, you got to play it 3 days earlier, so which is why I'm able to review it now. And those who didn't, it premieres tomorrow for those who are getting the physical copy or want to get it digital for that point. But that's the reason why I'm able to give it a review that I give now right there. But I think in due time, hopefully all those would do it. And when it comes to, because who else did that? Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite also did that as well. Which I don't at this point, hopefully they'll stop doing that. And I believe some other games have taken that ability off. And I don't remember if it actually helped the loading time or whatnot, but I do believe that that may be hindering why the load times is taking so long. So the only time you could take screenshots or video play is during the actual matches themselves. But I hope that's something they take out down the line, because I think that really hinders the loading time. I do believe that probably hinders somewhat of the loading time, makes it faster. The last con that I could give, which is not really a big deal, but for the first time ever, this does not have English dub. And after seeing what I'm playing, I understand why. I don't want to say this is a rush title, so they didn't really put too much emphasis on it, but this game doesn't have the quality of other games like Xenoverse, or which they went to all ends to give, or Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm, which to me, those two are the best franchises Bandai and Namco's ever come, and some of the best anime games ever made, because of how much detail and everything they put into it. So this, I don't want to say this is a rush job per se, but I just think that they wanted to get this thing out because it was just announced just somewhat November or December when the Game Awards came out. So, and it's only February now, so I don't know how long it took for them to make this game, but with it only being 15 gigs, I can understand why, if they would have put more emphasis on it, like maybe 10 more gigs or whatever, and didn't, plus this, put it like this. This game feels budgeted. This game is as good as it is, as much fun as I'm having. It really comes off that this game is very well budgeted. They were able to only afford Japanese actors to do it, which is fine, because you got some of your favorite Japanese voices to play your favorite characters that are on the actual show. So it's not a far cry. But looking at it from what they did graphically and looking at it from what they did, for other things, this looks like a very budgeted game. With that said, it doesn't take none of this takes away from the fun I'm having with this game right now. I just feel like they were giving us the impression that we were getting more and something a little bit more epic than what we had before, like with Xenoverse and with the Ultimate Ninja Storm series, and it didn't give us exactly that. But it is what it is. So overall, with all that said, with all that really said, though, the pros to me outweigh the cons. And this game, and pretty much, this game is worth playing. It does keep it from being considered a Game of the Year contender by any stretch. The game is a lot of fun. A great follow-up to J-Star Victory vs. Plus, which came out a few years ago. With that said, with that pretty much said, the thought of this game being a major graphic threat and in a fighting game world, I didn't think it would fit in. It wouldn't be able to fit, the Nintendo Switch. I thought what we saw from the actual CGI cutscene, the trailer, if you will, that, we would never see this on the Nintendo Switch. It looks too damn badass. However, after seeing the game Smoke and Mirrors, and the memory capacity of only being 15 gigs, because I have games on the Nintendo Switch that are way more than that, it's safe to say and predict that the game may end up in the Switch down the line in 2019. It is very safe to say. So, with that said, with a few patches uploaded, and the clipping and collision detection issue can easily be fixed. Jump Force is far from a perfect game. It is far from a perfect game by any stretch. But it does bring anime and manga fans enough of an impact that they would expect and love. With that, I give this a solid B, with a possibility that it could be better, but only by so much. If anything, I would stretch it to a B+. If they fix the clipping and collision detection issues, maybe some other features of it as well. But it is a good looking game. It's a really good looking game. I just felt like because they made us seem like we were getting what we saw, and we're kind of getting a little less of that, but the gameplay and everything is still really great. It is worth a B. It in my humble opinion, it is worth a beat. So I say, if you're an anime fan, if you're a Shonen Jump fan, definitely go out of your way to jump at it and get it. No pun intended. And I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy it for what it is, but don't expect this to be a game changer by any stretch. Don't expect this to be an actual game of the year in game of the year contention. It is not. But what it is a very fun game for fans of all things Shonen Jump. So take that as you will. And ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for this edition of Select Start. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely keep checking us out on now YouTube, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Podbean, and God knows wherever else you can listen to this show right now. But this week, I am going to check out Battle Angel Alita. I got my ticket. I'm going to check it out and review that this week, as well as other news going on in our favorite fandoms, including the update on the Vic Mignogna allegations and situation going on there. He has made a statement recently. We're going to talk about that. And what does that mean as a fan? And what does that mean from a moral standpoint? I got a question for that. A question I even put out on the ACMG Facebook group on air as well. So it's very interesting. He made a statement, and we're going to talk about that and see where it goes from there. See how that follows up from that point. So we got that and more other news coming. I assure you, we're nothing short of anything coming very soon. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And again, I say this, I try to say this as much as I can. Please, people, protect and save the ones you love from situations of any sexual abuse, misconduct, any situations that matter. If you know somebody that's in a situation, please help them. Find a way to help them. Send them to RAIN, sexual abuse hotlines. Do whatever you can. If your family's in danger, listen to what they have to say and be the hero that they need. So, with that said, this is Dak Xavier Josiah saying, learn to let go, live life, and love all things anime, comics, movies, and games. This is ACMG Presents Talk Time Live. I am out of here, and I will talk to you all Sunday. Take care. This episode of ACMG Presents Talk Time Live is brought to you in part by Viewfinder's Identity Search and Design. Your choice for web design, graphic design, and all multimedia development needs. Visit VFISAD.com and let us bring your vision to reality.